What's up, y'all? This is the Good Times of Killing Us podcast. I'm your boy David, and I'm here with K-Town.
K-Town!
And Marquisa.
Yo, 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 yo.
And today we got a very special guest, a longtime friend of the show and us in general, and longtime listener, Matty Ice.
You refer to your boy as Stash Daddy Ice now?
Stash Daddy Ice.
Stash Daddy Ice.
Ugh. And this is the Labor Day special. We are celebrating the end of a most glorious summer, the first summer of the Good Times of Killing Us podcast, and we're bringing y'all here to reflect on the day of the glorious socialist revolution. And
God bless the labor movement.
God bless the labor union, dude. The labor unions. So we're going to talk about our little union has podcasters. We're going to tell you all the origin story of this podcast, the process we take with every single episode, and we're going to reflect upon our most glorious adventure doing each of these episodes.
Yeah, so this is like a bonus episode. It's a little behind-the-scenes bonus Labor Day episode. We're just hopping the stew real quick. Fucking want to talk about... I mean, we're not deep in it. We got 10 eps or so, you know, including some other bonus episodes, and we just want to fucking talk about them in the process of how this podcast works.
Mm-hmm. Give y'all some behind the scenes, let y'all know actually what it is. And yeah, like you said, we're kind of young in this, but like we've been really getting the shakes out, feeling out what we want to do with the podcast, figuring out the direction, kind of as we go, how we want to do all the work. And it's been a big summer. I mean, we've been really busy this summer. We've been releasing episodes pretty much every week.
Dude, it's been a big summer. I feel like we could have done a big oof literally every week.
Yeah. Honestly, what a summer it's been. Like, overall, y'all want to kind of oof it out a little bit and talk about some of the major things that happened this summer?
Well, first, I mean...
remember everything.
Going back to, like, the process and everything, like, this... I think you said it the best when we first started this. This is kind of like a band for us.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been in bands, and, like, if you think about, like, how much time you put into, like, an album for a band, like, an album's, like, what, 40 minutes long?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting out hours of shit in, like, a summer period. Like, a 3-month period, we've put out, like, over 10 hours of shit.
And not to mention, for all the hours that we record, all the hours that anyone's heard, there's more hours that we've just been together trying to put this shit
it's just
together.
like I was looking at like our like total runtime like the other day, and like it's just fucking crazy, dude.
It's really sick, and it's really cool that people are like fucking listening. Like, you know, we've been looking at the analytics and shit on the
we have over 1,000 hours of listen time, you know that,
dude. Thank you, people who are listening to us, especially homies in Australia.
Yeah.
Yo, we see you.
Yeah. That trips me out the most, dude. The fucking worldwide shit.
That's fucking wild, bro.
It's been fantastic because for the for a big part of our listener base are mostly just friends or extended friends, and it's really that we appreciate the hell out of that. Maddie, of course, being one of them. But also, it's amazing to know that there are people out there who either don't know us very well personally or don't know us at all. Who are just interested in the kind of vibe we're trying to give off here, the kind of subject matter. And I'd like to say that we're doing something unique. I don't really know any other podcasts that do this specifically, where we do deep dives on these kinds of controversial movements, people, or whatever. It's still really hard to kind of pinpoint what this all really is. But
yeah, we're still kind of like you said, we're in the early stages. We're still a young adolescent podcast figuring shit kind of out. But this is awesome.
Well, I mean, like, I guess maybe not just as one of your boys. Like, y'all are definitely in my rotation of podcasts that I listen to, like, regularly. Like, when a new one comes out, I'm, like, on it. Like, I slept on the podcast. Like, I knew y'all were doing it, and, like, I knew episodes were coming out or whatever, and there was, like, quite a few episodes that came out, and I just hadn't gotten around to listen to. I was, you know, kind of going through some of the other podcasts I'd listened to and trying to get through series and those podcasts.
Sleeping on your boys.
Yeah, sleeping on your boys.
Sorry, we still love you.
And then just one night, shit popped up, and I was like, you know what? Like, it's due time. Like, I need to pop this on. And I'm kind of like going to bed, and I started listening to one of the episodes, and I just started geeking the fuck out. I was just like weak, and I was just like, yeah, I like this. I gotta start listening to like all of them. So I went back, and like I'm at work, like, you know, doing my job and shit, and just listen to the podcast. And it was just like, it got me through the day. I was
that's
like,
fucking sick, bro. Yeah, because that's why I mostly listen to podcasts, like, at work, you know. I think most people, like, at work or driving to work and, like, you know, just you know, it's just a thing to help you get through. And once you kind of get like hooked on to a dynamic of like, you know, some host or something.
The whole thing is like I definitely get hooked on this dynamic because at some
we're
point
boys.
I'm part of this dynamic.
Yeah. So like it's
exactly.
for you, I feel like it's a little bit easier because it's like, oh yeah, that's fucking K-Town and Payne and Mark.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like you're part of the homie. So it's like, you know, but for people who don't know us at all, that's a real like huge like fucking. That's a really sick feeling. That like, yo. Thank you guys for like listening to us.
Seriously,
like,
y'all. Thank y'all so much, especially this early on in the process. Where we don't really have, we don't even have ads yet. We're not really doing anything to really reach out that strongly. And just really cool that somehow y'all found us and that y'all are interested in it. So, with all that being said, should we just get right into the kind of origin story of how this all really started?
Yeah, for sure.
So, when was it that I remember? Because it all kind of came to me because there's a period of time where I was hanging out with both of y'all, like. A lot, like individually. I'd come over to your house, Mark, and we'd talk about some crazy shit. And I'd go to the inn where you were working security, K-Town. And we would just talk about all these different subjects. And it was around the same time that I was getting super into podcasts. And I started thinking to myself, like, wow, the dynamic that we have when we communicate about these topics, which a lot of those topics are some of the things that we cover and talk about now on the podcast. Yeah. I realized that our conversation style was very fluid. And I was like, you know what? We could just do a podcast.
Yeah, dude, I literally remember just like sitting out on the deck at the inn for like until like 3 o'clock in the morning, just like talking about random shit with you.
Imagine what it must have felt like to be the other people there who were just drinking, listening to us talking about like incels and furries and all this weird shit.
I don't really remember the first time we were like talking about it for real, but I do remember like when we quote unquote got serious about it and we had a meeting in here in the cave in the what is now Cave One studio, and fucking we were like, I had a notepad and we were writing down ideas and we were really like just vibing it out like what we were gonna do.
What was the first thing we were gonna do?
Apocalypse Podcast.
Yeah, that was the original name. And at some point, because we've had this I guess this artwork that you did like a few years ago, where it's a bunch of like PBR cans and some Budweiser or PBR boxes and Budweiser boxes, and it says the good times are killing me, and now it says us. You've updated it. So.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I changed it. So
I totally just noticed that,
and that's been up there for years.
Yeah. I've had it. I had cut out. So it's basically like a bunch of from cases of PBR. Just I cut out letters that spelled out the good times are killing me, and I had it posted up in here. And while we were talking about the podcast one time, and I think we were talking about changing the name.
We
were just like, I don't know, like, you know, I don't remember why exactly we wanted to change it, but
because I think it was because like that name was there was probably like 30.
Yeah, and I didn't want to get associated with like fucking zombie apocalypse shit or just other apocalypse shit, because the topic. The direction we're going is a little bit broader than that, too.
Yeah, and Apocalypse Podcast kind of has a dark kind of vibe to it, where you almost think that's going to be some Alex Jones shit, where we're really talking about, like, society's falling apart, and it's because of the damn liberals, you know, or whatever, or blaming, you know, getting on some weird shit. And plus, honestly, if we were to be telling friends, like, hey, look up our podcast, Apocalypse Podcast, they got to spell apocalypse.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know how to spell apocalypse correctly.
Tough look.
And for some people,
know how to spell apocalypse.
Some people are going to put that in, and they're going to like, I misspelled it, and they're going to be like, fuck this, I don't need to listen to this.
So there's a couple of reasons that we changed, but I think it was K-Town that we were chilling here was like,
I just saw the wall, and I was like, yo, that
is that what we call it? The good times are killing us. And
well, how long ago was that meeting? Because that's the thing,
it was after the original meeting.
Oh, you're talking about the second meeting we had not too long ago. But yeah, we had an original meeting like over a year ago.
The first we were like, we're doing it a year ago. Yeah, it was like
because we were buying our microphones tax season. That was like the big thing.
Yeah,
and then we didn't.
But yeah, we put it back so far, like month after month passed, and we finally were like, all right, guys, let's fucking do this shit. And we finally got it all together, and we recorded a bunch of fake episodes.
So many fake episodes, so many practice episodes, just feeling out like what this would be,
the vibe of our communication, the vibe of the podcast. And I think a big reason for that is because a lot of podcasters are people who live in like New York or LA. They're like comedians or actors. A lot of them are comedians, so they kind of have experience with either be it comedy or even broadcasting in general, and none of us really had that.
For a lot of the bigger podcasts, but like, dude, I told you, like, I listen to podcasts, even still now, I listen to podcasts that are even less like, we don't have, like, a lot of production value. This is a very cheap setup that we have going on. But, like, I listen to podcasts with even less of a setup. I know that it's just, like, somebody on their phone, and, like, I might listen to an episode, or if it's good, I'll listen to a few. I don't, So I know there's more people out there like me who were just like to listen to some shit. I just, even when I was young, I used to listen to, like, talk radio and stuff. Like, I used to like the talking segments on, like, the radio.
Yeah, the Dr. Drew, like, sex line shit.
I used to love that.
Like, fucking, there's an audience for people who just want to listen to people talk about shit. So, like, I knew that they're, like, I don't know. I just knew that we could do this,
Mm-hmm.
And we are friends, and we chill, and we have all these experiences together. So it's like that brings an extra type.
This is also a really good excuse for all of our significant others to, like, get out of the house and do shit. Dude, I gotta go record the cast, babe. Like, sorry.
No lie. Like, when we were first starting out and stuff, I really was like, "Oof, this is like." Especially doing research for certain topics and stuff before we got started, it's like, man, it really seems like I'm just, like, hanging out with my friends drinking beer all the time, and I am.
I mean, yeah, that's what we're doing,
But I am.
Well, I remember when we were doing the research on Flat Earth, it was on a Sunday, and we're all drinking beers, and we were talking about how, most people at this age, when you've got, like, a bunch of dudes getting together on a Sunday, they're, like, watching the big game, drinking beers.
Hell yeah,
we're just being fucking nerds.
Yeah, we've got a laptop plugged up to a big screen TV, going back and forth between, like, articles and videos, and we're just researching with the boys. But it's fun because, I mean, it really is cool. Like I remember when we found, we'll fall in these little rabbit holes with, like, watching, like, whether it be, like, all those furry documentaries or well, for me, Takashi Miike. Well, we'll talk more about the specific episodes, but some of these episodes were a lot of fun to do. Some of them were less fun, like the incels one, but still very
enlightening.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as the origin story, I mean, yeah, we record all these little practice episodes to kind of get a feeling for, like, our broadcasting voices, our dynamic. A lot of those were really fun to do, and maybe even, I don't know about you guys, maybe one day we could post one of those or something. Maybe. Yeah. Some of them had some hot shit in them.
Yeah, some of those should never see the light of day, for sure.
Because we knew that they weren't going to be public, so we were talking about some...
But I feel like there might be one or two where there's some gold in there. I think we could post one of those later on. Just
if you edit it correctly, you might be able to...
You're going to be doing a lot of editing.
Yeah, a lot of editing.
Well, remember, speaking of, like, of cringy shit, remember when we did our first introduction episode, but then, like, I remember, like, listening to it, and I was just like, dude, I don't like this, because I feel like we spent too much time talking about, like, Star Wars for some reason, and I remember
it was 45 minutes.
It was long.
Yeah.
And I remember there were some jokes in there, because I think, like, we were all kind of trying to get our bearings for, like, the kind of sense of humor that we wanted, and at least for me, I feel like I wasn't really being myself, and I was saying things that, like, listening to them later on, I was like, that's cringy, man, I don't need to do this act, I'm just going to be myself.
Yeah, we scrapped the first introduction episode and redid it. We redid the introduction episode, like, at the end of, I think it was, like, the Takashi Miike episode?
Yeah, we recorded, like, 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Before we released a single one.
Yeah, so it was, like, literally, like, a few minutes after we recorded the Takashi Miike episode, we recorded the 15-minute intro.
Because we were waiting on the music.
We were waiting for so long for artwork and music, y'all.
Yeah, artwork and music. And by the way, shout out to James D for he's got you can follow his Dead or Mean Bandcamp page. We have links to that all over the place. He did our intro music. We've all been in bands with him. Like, he's one of our best friends in the whole wide world, and he's extremely talented in music. And also our friend Rusty Painter, who did the art, who did the artwork for us. He's done artwork for our old band. Well, not really our old band. It's still a band, Accident Prone. And by the way, shout out to anyone out there who got into this podcast because they listened to our bands like Macrocrust or Accident Prone.
We should probably post this on, like, some Accident Prone or Macrocrust shit.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. I'm probably going to do that pretty soon. We've got a good amount under our belt. But yeah, so we recorded that we finally did a few episodes, and then we released them, I think, after doing Takashi Miike. But before we get into the order and kind of reflect on what it was like doing all those different episodes, y'all want to talk about the process?
Yeah. Like, how we actually, like, how it all works, how we, like, record and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I like the way that usually after we record an episode, and we probably won't do it after this episode, but, like, one of our, like, a topic episode, we'll usually chill in here for a minute and kind of like right then discuss what our next topic is going to be.
You get some of the key bullet points to fill in.
And I like that we do that because like we all leave here, and I feel like we leave here on that shit because we've talked about it before. But whatever the topic is, like your boys fully immerse.
Oh yeah,
like,
we get super into it.
Yeah, we go into that shit. So whatever it is, we're kind of living it for a little while.
It becomes like
for better or worse.
It always becomes something where like it's the only thing I can talk to anyone about. I remember like doing furries. That's like all I talk to anybody about. And some people work like, into it. Some people are like, all
we literally were having parties and just like, hey guys, like let's watch this 30-minute video. Well, I know we're listening to music right now, but hey, do you guys want to watch this 30-minute documentary about fucking fursonas?
We had some friends who were having their like basically like their wedding party, and we just like we were doing. It was the week that we were doing research for new metal, so we were like, all right, we're just gonna play nothing but new metal at this party, and we just talked about new metal to everybody. But it's like your boys just got married, so.
Yo, actually, funny side note about that: we recorded that night. Do you remember?
Yeah, we
actually recorded.
I mean, I don't remember. I know we did. I don't remember that.
That might be something. No, that can never.
No,
be
that
released.
can never. Be released.
Maddie, you're on that episode.
Yes,
I think you took over that recording. Actually,
it got really sad.
Didn't we rate our boys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we rated it.
Yeah. Dude, Jade rated it too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she rated it.
Y'all were giving my boy 4 out of 5.
Yo, shouts out for Turtle
on his wedding night.
It's being realistic, you know.
No, I said a 3.
That's. I mean, 4 can be generous, man. Out of okay, let's get off.
So
let's not dive back into that hole. Like,
I'm gonna put a clip of that at the end of this episode.
So pretty much the process is that we do an episode, and then we, like you said, we immediately pick our next topic, and we kind of just go out and disperse, and we start kind of. Individually doing our own little research, but we always plan on one day that we actually meet up and kind of collaborate and talk, and we drink and we watch videos, go to articles, and kind of show off what we've gathered and find new stuff.
Pull together what we've gathered. Like we do, kind of our separate dives because we're not able to meet up like that often. So,
we're busy boys.
Everybody's working and shit, So
we got families, we got jobs,
So fucking, that's why it's good that we fucking discuss the topic that night. That way we can do our separate dives, and when we do set up that day, like to meet up, we bring what we've gathered there. We look for new things. We fucking, like halfway outline the episode a little bit. Payne really kind of takes more of like the lead on the outline, but And that get up day where we link up together, that's like a big day to like kind of
really flesh it out. And plus it's a cool opportunity because we generally record the episode just the three of us, but when we do those sessions where we kind of all meet up, we're like, okay, let's bring out some friends who have a general interest and kind of help get them to help us kind of shape the direction.
Yeah.
They'll ask questions on like what we're doing. We'll be like, oh, that's a good question, and we'll add that to like
just like for the incels episode, I won't say that was like exciting to meet up to like
that was a lot
into that one, but
it was still interesting though.
I had a lot of questions, and like they were questions I'm like, hey, like as a listener, like put a little more explanation on this topic, like because as somebody who hasn't done any research at all on this, like these are the questions
that you would have.
Right. Yeah, you can kind of see the big picture, I think, a little bit better than us. Whereas we're like much more in the trenches
on this one thing
of it. We don't have like a bird's eye view of the overall concept. But that's pretty much it. Like we do those days. Sometimes we'll have two. Like there have been times where like two of us will meet up and kind of talk about something. But we always have at least one meetup where it's the three of us, and then we kind of go our separate ways, kind of marinate on it. Maybe I usually will kind of tighten up the outline, and then we meet up, and bada bing, bada boom, we record an episode.
Bang, bang, boom.
So what's been y'all's like favorite episode of
I was just going to ask that.
For me, it's well, we're going to get into all the different episodes and kind of the history and the feelings that are going through our heads. But personally, I had, ironically, because it's the least viewed episode, but I had the most fun doing the Takashi Miike episode. And I'm going to talk more on that later, but I had a great time doing that episode because I went in on that shit. And again, I will talk about it more later, but kind of want to round table our favorite
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah. Just real quick.
All four of us, Maddie too.
Yeah, Maddie last because he's also a listener. But
Said that like,
yo, Maddie last. Fuck him because
Maddie.
he's just a listener.
My favorite by far, because it was the goofiest and the least like depressing. I mean, it's still depressing if you think about it really critical. But Flat Earth, man, was mine. That was our stride.
we were in a good. I think we finally kind of found a good.
That was my shit.
By the way, on the Flat Earth episode, well, I guess we'll get into it. We'll get into
Small
that.
dicks.
Like, we're fucking.
we'll
I
talk
think
about it.
my favorite episode is probably. I'm not sure which one, but it's probably one of the Big Oofs. Like, I have a lot of fun with the Big Oof episodes.
Those are a lot of
dude.
fun to do. Yeah.
The bathwater one, yeah, that was.
Yeah,
That was
the
good.
bathwater one was fun. Yeah, it's the second Big Oof. The
We had
second
fun.
Big Oof.
Yes.
With
That-
Bagel Boss.
No, that was
51.
that was literally the episode that I first listened to. That I was like, "Yo, I got to go back."
You're not God.
Like,
You're not my father or my boss.
The second Big Oof just felt so relaxed.
Yeah.
Where I was
Relaxed
just
it.
like, "Yo, like I wish I was there for that conversation." Like I had like I wish I had been there to discuss all these topics because like I got some shit I want to say on these.
What's your favorite one though? Is it that?
But Flat Earthers definitely.
It was a really
Like,
good episode.
As far as an episode goes for I mean just learning, like there was so much stuff that I had no idea about. Like I knew a little bit about, you know, what they were about,
Yeah.
but not like it was very informative and educational. Like definitely, like I learned a lot on that episode, and it was fun. Like I enjoyed the whole trip. Like
That's really sick
So
to
many,
hear.
so many small dick jokes. That whole episode.
I mean, that,
It all comes back to the small dick.
We'll come back to that later. Well, Mark, what was your favorite episode?
Oh, I said it was the Big Oof.
Oh, the Big
Probably
Oofs?
the Big Oof number
Yeah.
2. Yeah,
I think those are
probably
good
both of them collectively. I don't know, man, because I love them both.
Yeah.
I think we all have the same answer to this question, but what was our least favorite?
It's probably incels.
Incel.
I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
It had to be done. But that was.
It sounds like in the recording, I think it sounds like we were having a better time than we actually were. Because like
Yeah.
that shit was a fucking
Well,
Dude, we got our
dude.
first hate comment.
yeah.
Oh yeah! We're gonna get into that.
Y'all
Yo, we got a
fucking
long
made
one.
it. Y'all
We really
made
made it
Yeah.
by an actual incel too. An actual incel was like,
I mean,
no,
a 14-year-old.
We don't know. but likely. Okay, so y'all want to get into it? Let's go episode by episode, talk about the process, what it was like, and our favorite parts of it. So we already talked about the introduction, so let's get right into it. The first episode, I remember we met up and we were like, all right, what's the first one going to be? And for me, the longest time when I thought about this podcast, I was like, we're going to cover furries at some point because furries are weird, and I actually kind of want to know about it because it's such a weird phenomenon and culture. And I remember I said furries, and K-Town was like, yeah, dude, like if we're going to do this, we're going full force. We're doing fucking furries. So we want to talk about the process of doing that episode a little bit.
Yeah, dude, furries was like really interesting for me because like I thought I knew something about them. Apparently, I didn't really know much, and
We didn't know shit, dude.
We didn't know shit. The protoplasm of furries is what really blew my mind as we were doing the research, and we might have even overdone that episode because it's like our first episode, and there's just so much.
Yeah,
that
it's such a long episode.
you know, sorry guys, it's a long one,
But it's got
a little
details.
bit-
It is very. That was probably the most researched episode. I think for me because when we did that episode, it was kind of like the tail end of the school year, and I'm a teacher, so I'm usually like when I'm in teaching mode, I'm in full blown like grind, research. Like
which you're about to be getting back to.
yeah, exactly. But when we did that episode, it was like finals week, and it felt kind of like it felt like I was running, but like there wasn't as much work to do because my students were just taking tests, and it was all multiple choice, so it was graded automatically. So I was kind of like really running hot, and I was like, all right, let's do it, and like was just going in on furries for hours and hours and hours, and create this the longest outline we've ever had. And I went in, and Mark, you went in really hard too on that episode.
Yeah.
You watched a bunch of documentaries, and when we came together, you really knew what was good. K-Town, you kind of already had.
K-Town's like the godfather of all this shit, so like you had a lot of already. You had some knowledge on the topic.
Your boy's been living that furry life for a really long time.
Speaking of which, can we talk about the issues that you and I had during that episode?
Yeah, dude. We really were clashing on that. I really wanted to go for their throats, and you really wanted to just
True.
try to understand them, and I just was not getting that
K-Town didn't have any sympathy.
I had no sympathy. There was nothing. I think that shows. I think that shows in the episode too, though. Like that we do have our own thoughts on things, you know.
And I think that's good because as many episodes as we've had where we've been pretty unanimous, it was good that our first episode started off on something where you can actually hear multiple perspectives. Because if it was all of us just saying like, "Oh fuck furries," someone might be listening and saying, "I don't know, man." Like, but if it was all of us liking furries, you're going to have a lot of people out there who are like, dude, what are these dudes doing? Like, you know, like some libtard bullshit.
So,
you know,
furries is definitely, at least to me, is like the cornerstone of this podcast because I feel like we're talking about that a lot and the origins and getting it started, and like it was a big. Like, we talk about it still a lot in every episode, but real quick before we move on to the next like episode. Is there any addendum or anything y'all want to add that like new happenings or things that we've seen to add to that episode? Or did you guys see that thing I sent in the group chat? The furry guy who wanted the paws.
Oh yeah, with the dry ice. That shit was crazy, dude.
Oof.
Yeah,
he dipped his hands in dry ice so they'd have to be amputated so he could get paws.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember trying my phone was being weird. I wasn't going to see, but Jesus Christ. So we could have actual paws.
Yeah.
See, those good times are killing us.
Yeah.
K-Town, you still feel the way you feel about furries?
Yeah.
Even after incels and flat earthers?
I mean, just because something's more evil than something else, I still, like...
Two things can be true.
Maddie,
just because Limp Bizkit is garbage doesn't mean I have to like Deftones.
So I have to go with K-Town on the furries. Like I don't know if I'm like biased, but like I've always had it. It's just like it's just fucking weird.
It rubs you the wrong way.
There's something wrong.
It'd be one thing if it was
cosplay,
but like them motherfuckers live that shit every day.
And I mean,
it's not all furries though. Here we go.
It's not all.
Here we go.
But I have to go.
No, by definition, that is they have a fursona. All furries think they're an animal.
All right.
Yeah, but
I just mean like
I have to go with K-Town on the fact that yes, it might have started off as something that was
just
pretty goofy and innocent, but the majority has turned it into something. Us as human beings, we do that to shit. We turn something that might just be innocent or like whatever, and we turn it into something like this fucking has to be bad.
Yeah,
like just
look at Area 51, man. It was
seeing
them aliens, and then it went to alien
clapping
rape.
cheeks.
Yeah,
it is rapey, honestly. Well, we'll get to that one more. So we ready to move on to new metal?
New metal. I mean, did we cover that a little bit in the Big Oof, the new metal revival? It's still here.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a topic.
They still here,
hit
baby.
on.
Yeah, Tool's new album dropped yesterday, guys. Fucking Fear Inoculum. It's good.
Crickets.
Well, we gotta have someone for the Tool fans out there. So fine. I remember after furries. It's funny because in retrospect, furries was not very dark. But I remember feeling like it was still kind of dark, and it was like, all right, let's do something a little bit fun.
Yeah, we thought that was a dark episode.
Thought furries was dark.
We didn't see nothing. But
new metal was probably at the time one of my favorite episodes. Just
it was a lot of fun to do because it was like, okay, like we're gonna just be listening to new metal all week. Like we're going back to like a different time.
2004, like
dude, I was at the gym like blasting fucking Korn, just like just going in on Korn. It's like, dude, you are so late right now.
Bro, I still have Static X in my fucking in my fucking phone. Like I downloaded that album and it plays from here time to time.
Korn kind of became a part of my rotation for a few weeks.
Yeah,
I don't listen to them anymore, but it became
your normal rotation now. Like
no, not anymore.
You kind of go back to certain things, and then they become part of your rotation.
That's what happened with me and Static X. I was like, oh no, I'm keeping this one.
I forgot how good this was.
Yeah, I'm keeping this
in
shit.
my rotation for now.
But is there anything... That episode was interesting because I think, unlike all these other episodes, we were already kind of experts in most of it, where we didn't really need much... Because y'all both really live new metal. Mm-hmm. I listened to new metal a good amount when I was a teenager. I didn't really live like that, but most of this stuff I already knew. So really, we were just kind of already experts, just kind of giving y'all the business. So let's go ahead and move on into what was our first spoiler cast, and actually our only spoiler cast so far.
Yeah, dude, we gotta get back on this spoiler cast shit, dude.
We do.
Yo, let us know. Hit us up on iTunes. Oh, fuck, I meant to do this at the top of the episode.
Episode.
We'll get better at this. hit us up on iTunes in the comments. Give us a rating on iTunes. That's probably like the most important thing.
A good rating.
Yeah, I mean, be honest.
No,
a comment. Yeah, 5 stars is really best, but a comment at least. Let us know what you think, because ratings help us stand out more and be more relevant, and we pop up more to other people. So, hit us up on iTunes, rate us. If you're not on iTunes, hit us up on Spotify. But if you are on iTunes, give us a rating.
Your boy gave that 5-star.
And let us know what kind of
that's my dog.
What kind of movies y'all want us to see? But so Midsommar was our first one, and we pretty much just learned that what we wanted to do with the spoiler cast was just run through the plot of an entire episode. Or an entire movie, and just kind of comment on it, and it was fun. I enjoyed the movie a lot, and I don't know what else to say about that, because you can just kind of go off and listen to the episode.
Yeah.
So speaking of movies, let's move on to our next one, which again, I've got some things to say about this: the films of Takashi Miike.
Oof.
So this was an interesting one, because when we had the idea, it kind of came from us talking on the Spoilercast, and we were like, what if we do older movies? And K-Town, you wanted to do Ichi the Killer.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite older movies.
By the way, too, on the Spoilercast, too, I really am big on the idea of doing older movies. Like, movies that people like, movies that we all individually like, I love doing new movies, because the timing on that is great, but, like, doing, like, cult classics and stuff, too, that's awesome.
Hey, I mean, we got one dropping next week.
What's that?
The Room.
Oh, yeah.
We got The Room.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
we just did that.
Stay tuned.
So I remember K-Town wanted to do an episode on Ichi the Killer, and I thought, I want to do a little bit more than that. And then the direction became, okay, let's do an episode on Japanese horror. And, me being a huge horror movie fan, like horror films, like most of the movies I watch are horror movies. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, what are some horror movies, some Japanese horror movies that I liked? And I thought, okay, Audition, this weird movie called Imprint, obviously Ichi the Killer. And then when I looked up all those movies online, I found out that they were from the same director. And then it was like, okay, let's do a whole fucking episode on Takashi Miike. And y'all remember, I went in.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool watching like 3 of those 50 movies you made us watch, but like... Visitor Q really just did not do it for me.
Visitor Q was a mess, dude.
That movie sucked.
I do like it, and I mean, I watched...
just a lot of corpse fucking in that movie.
A lot of corpse fucking, shitty corpse fucking. And
graphic, not like implied corpse fucking, like just straight up corpse fucking.
Graphic, there's literally a woman who is I feel like we got to put that same warning on right now for this episode. But yeah, man, I went in. I watched like 15 of this guy's movies. Because I remember that was during a lull. I think we spent like a month on that episode, oddly enough, because like
it was a long time.
Because you were out of town for a while, and then like K-Town, you were super busy. You had like an on week at work where you had to work a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to spend a lot of time. And as a huge horror movie fan, I just watched like a bunch of his movies just by myself, or maybe with somebody else, and just went the fuck in. And then you guys are just watching me. You guys are probably just like, oh my god, dude, Bane's really fucking going in on this shit right now.
You're posting a lot of stuff in the group chat, because I hadn't watched, like, I was working out of town, like you said. I was working out of town, and so like you were like posting all these clips of movies you were watching in the group chat, and I was just like, oh my god, what is this? Like, what the fuck are we? And it wasn't until I got back that like me and you got to sit down and watch some of the movies and shit together.
Yeah, because I showed you Gozu, Visitor Q, Imprint. We watched Imprint like twice.
Yeah, because I watched it with you guys after y'all had seen it.
Because we didn't think you were going to be able to come over, so we watched. We're like, okay, K-Town can't make it, so let's watch Imprint.
Do you remember how many times we watched the opening credits because you didn't have a remote to the DVD?
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
And they kept restarting.
Oh, my God.
That was horrible.
We sat through like an hour and a half of like the previews for that fucking movie.
And then I fucked it up, and then we had to watch it like again.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I didn't really like, I mean... I don't remember what I said about that episode, if it was killing us or not, but I did not, like...
No, Takashi won't kill us.
It won't kill us, no, it won't kill us, but, like, I'm fine to never see any of those movies again.
Dude, I really like Ichi the Killer. I'll watch that 100 more times.
I want to watch more of his movies, honestly. I'm surprised I
don't ever want to watch Visitor.
So, hot take, I have not watched any of those movies.
What was that like to listen to?
Yeah, so it was weird.
That was a very random episode.
It was so I listened to the entirety of that episode, like
wow.
definitely, like from start to finish, like very attentively. And I had never seen any of those movies, but I feel like I have the gist of like all of them pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
Like,
Maddie, as a normie, you need to just watch Audition.
At least Audition.
Audition.
I'm
Oh, wait, I
definitely
didn't watch
open
Audition.
to watch them now. Like, it's not that I wasn't before; I just never had. And I know the gist of like all the movies, but I'm like, yeah, some of y'all's explanations made me like, hey, I do want to actually watch this just to see what they're talking about. Like,
See how wild it really
yeah,
is.
I'm like, I get the gist of it, but I don't.
I had a
The
fantastic
imagery.
time. I really loved doing that episode.
Yeah,
as like,
that was you. I think that episode for you was what like new metal probably was for me. Like
yeah, honestly, yeah.
just to like fully immerse and live in it. But fucking what's after Takashi Miike? What I think it was some of the Big Oof episodes.
After Takashi Miike was, I have it right here. Yeah, that was our first big oof when we talked about the Area 51 raid, the angry bagel boss, angry bagel boy, whatever.
You're not my god.
You're not my god,
No gods,
or my father.
no fathers, no bosses.
So I guess all we can really do about that is just kind of comment on some of the updates. You said that on the Area 51 raid they had canceled the event.
The event page is still there, but the group is gone.
Oh,
No,
okay.
so what happened was,
Hit 'em
up.
and,
The way
and
around.
I watched a video on it. They did an interview with the guy who created the event.
Yeah, shit
So-
posting because I'm in shambles.
Wasn't he wearing like a Naruto headband in the intervio?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Katse uniform.
Yeah, so what happened was the FBI actually showed up at his house to like make sure like he wasn't trying to do any like crazy like terrorist type deal or whatever.
God, could you imagine like being like an FBI agent, like you're fucking hunting down criminals, and they're like, "Hey,
And you
this-
gotta pull up on
the
this
shit
guy.
poster just posted a meme."
Well, did you also see
Can
that
you go check
picture?
him out, please?
It was like there was a picture of like somewhere at some military installation. They were doing a
yeah,
PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
and, like
he was
on
showing
it.
him what a Naruto.
Yeah, I
one
posted
was.
it. I posted it on the Instagram.
Do y'all think that's real?
Probably not.
I did hear that like the military and the FBI had to take it seriously. They had to be
Yeah.
like, it's probably a troll, but I mean, they're talking about raiding a fucking.
Yeah, no, they have to. Yeah,
No, they have to actually like
We'll
at
bomb
least
ya.
check on it. You
Yeah.
know? So what I got from it is they came to the guy and they made sure he wasn't actually a fucking terrorist, like you got to do. Like,
They probably thought he was even more, seeing him wearing a fucking Naruto headband. They were like,
No,
"What religion
well-
is this guy? What
and
cult
then,
is this?"
And then what happened was Facebook took the event page down.
He got zucked.
Yeah, like they pretty much they deleted it, and he
The uniform he's wearing in that video is actually the uniform of a terrorist organization in the Naruto universe.
But they took the
Oh.
they took the event down. Let's get back on the serious note here.
Yeah.
They took the event down, and he messaged them to get it back put up. He was like, "Look, this is a joke thing, like it's a troll thing, but I want to turn it into something positive." And he wants to make an actual like event, like some type of like Coachella type shit, whatever,
like
something like
a
that,
party, right?
like a party thing where like all these people get together and like do something positive. They're like, it was a joke at first, but like I want to turn it into something positive. And now y'all took the event down. Now I don't have the means to tell these people, hey, don't really show up at Area 51,
Bummer.
like on some shit. Like show up to this event and like turn it into something positive. All of us getting together.
Yeah,
and, like,
we'll just party it out.
Yeah,
we could
exactly.
all the white girls could dress as Native Americans, like at Coachella.
Well, speaking of positive, we also got the angry bagel boss,
This
guy.
who had since been contacted, and he signed with some guy who gets like viral sensations to wrestle, and apparently he's slated to wrestle the
Logan Paul.
no, I forget the name of the guy.
I fucking wish.
It was some guy who was like, "Yo, they call you. What do you say? Get your mama. You,
Oh,
Antoine
you got
Dodson.
a rapist in Lincoln Park.
Oh,
Antoine Dodson.
Yeah,
yeah, Antoine Dodson.
They're gonna wrestle.
grab your mama, grab your kids,
hide your kids, hide your wives, because they raping everybody out here.
Yeah, there it is. So he's slayed. So the angry bagel boss is slayed to wrestle him.
I'm sorry. They're climbing in your windows,
they
snatching your people up.
You gotta hide your kids, hide your wife, because they raping everybody.
Because they raping everybody.
I think we've had enough about this episode. But let's say who do y'all think's going to win that fight?
I hope Antoine.
I mean, I haven't seen Antoine since 2011.
Yeah,
but I mean, if he's got
he beat off a rapist though.
Yeah,
he
true.
beat a rapist.
True.
Oh, you said he beat off.
I changed it up real quick.
Bro, calm down. I got you. You don't need to be doing all that.
That's what he wanted.
As bad as it's a rape joke, this is not good. Okay, so let's. So the next episode, I mean, there was
Canceled.
Yes. So
we just got canceled, yo.
the next episode that we did was Kanye West, which I believe is our most viewed episode.
Even though it sounds like trash.
No, Flat Earth beat it.
Flat Earth beat Yay.
Wow.
I wasn't into Kanye. I wasn't into that.
It's because that episode sounds like boo boo.
It might have been the sound.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Oh yeah, and also Midsummer. Midsummer and Kanye West kind of have some technical difficulties with the sound, but I think we figured that out.
We were working on the dynamics of having a fourth person on, and for some reason it just wasn't sounding good. But that was a fun episode to do. I remember the whole process of going back into Kanye West's career and like watching videos chronologically and listening to his records chronologically and looking at the news stories chronologically. It was that whole process. We talked about this in the episode, but that whole process of falling back in love with Kanye West, and then by the end of it, just being like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You are on some bullshit now." That was a fun episode. Honestly, I really enjoyed kind of digging into his world, and it kind of got me back into rap a little bit. I've kind of been out of my rap kick for a while, and I enjoyed it.
It hurt me going through, like, I really, like, I fell back in love with Kanye going back, because, like we said, we fully immersed, so, like, I know me and you definitely were just, like, we watched, like, every video, like,
every single
Kanye,
music video.
like, I was listening to Kanye, like, all day, every day, and then we got back into, like, the Scandal shit, and we had to, like, relive that a little bit,
Bro.
and then that shit hurt even worse the second time around.
He's still trying to make you love him, and everything he tries just makes you go further from him.
See, that was B.O.B. though, or not B.O.B.
That was Kid Cudi, boy.
Kid Cudi.
No, but that was on Yee.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, but that was still Kid Cudi saying that, and
But that was Kanye saying that to us.
By that point, I was so over Kanye West.
That was Kanye saying that to us.
Listening to Ye and Kids See Ghosts, I was just like,
yo, Kids See Ghosts hit me like.
Yeah, I was.
Great album.
That got on me. I remember when that album dropped, I was super into it, and that I was listening to that album for like 2 weeks straight after that. Even after we finished doing it. And that was a fun episode to do. And then we did another big oof on fucking White Claw Summer, baby. White Claw
Which we
Summer.
lived thoroughly.
Yo,
Still living.
Yeah, we're still living. The
Everyone
White Claw
right now
Summer.
has a White Claw in their hand.
your boy got scars. Okay.
Oh yeah, Matt. Yeah, let's talk about. Okay,
let's talk about the party.
We had the party, right? So let's talk about the party.
We has mentioned that episode. We did an episode a week before. We had an enormous party at my house. It ended up being a 2-day party because
2 days
because
for,
these drunk motherfuckers just came over to my house the next day and just like kept drinking and brought
2
a bunch
days
of
for your boys.
I was hungover for 2 days. I've never been hungover for 2 days. That was off White Claw, mostly White Claw.
Can we talk about Maddie's hand there real quic?
Yes,
Maddie.
Do you wanna take that?
Yeah, let Maddie. Maddie, what happened?
I mean, basically, your boy's stupid.
So I, of course, like I always do, was trying to get people to shotgun with me. Mm-hmm. So we were going to shotgun some White Claws. I, like the genius I am, I used the key, but my boy Maddie decided to pull out a knife out of the knife.
It was
block.
in the sink.
Maddie
it was readily available in the
whole
sink.
ass knife.
It was a whole knife. It was
like a chef knife, like not like a,
no.
like a butter knife.
It was a fucking like paring knife, dude. Like,
They won't
it
no
was
damn paring knife. That
Whatever.
shit was
Sous
big as
chef?
fuck.
It was a knife, guys. What happened?
It was a
next?
knife. So your boys, he's a little tilted. I mean, I'm fully torqued. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
fully
gonna
torqued
lie.
by this point, yeah.
I'm fully torqued. All right, it's a dull knife.
It's a knife, though.
Or is it?
No, it was dull.
So basically,
It's a knife.
So basically, you went in to shotgun this White Claw, and you fucking had your hand against the other side of the White Claw and stabbed through the White Claw into your fucking hand.
It was dull, but you bled everywhere, and still 2 weeks later, you don't have feeling in your hand.
Yeah. I still have a finger that's half numb.
Shut up.
This motherfucker talking about it's a dull knife, but I bled everywhere, and I lost feeling in my hand for 2 weeks.
I mean, it's chill. It still works fine.
Do y'all want to move along a little bit on that episode? So also, just a little update, because another topic of that big oof was the Impossible Burger, which before recording this episode, I got an Impossible Whopper.
There was an Impossible Whopper in the K1
in the
studio.
midst. And K-Town wanted a small bite of the Impossible meat, and K-Town?
Bro, I'm a hardcore carnivore. I eat fucking... Red meat is 90% of my fucking diet.
It's not good.
It's not good. I realize that.
The boy switches.
But I'm speaking the truth here. I ate a piece of that burger, and that shit was fucking fire, dude. I will... Anytime I go back to Burger King, which I go pretty frequently because it's right by my work, it's cheap, it's quick, I like eating there. I will get that burger every time I go now.
Yes, word.
Damn.
If I was to have that burger sitting next to any burger from McDonald's, double quarter pounder with cheese and an Impossible Whopper,
Hold on, man.
sitting next to each
that's
other,
a hot take.
Man.
That's a hot
yeah,
take.
That's
I'm taking the
a
Impossible
hot
Whopper.
take.
Impossible Whopper.
No, because
That shit was fucking good, dude.
I'm sorry, but your boy is quarter pounder for life. Like that's my
It's
burger.
so fucking good.
Okay.
It's a Whopper made out of plant.
I wish Payne would have broke me off a little.
It's
piece of
a
that.
a vegan patty.
Good. So we ready to move on to our next episode?
Yeah, what we got after that?
The
We got
next-
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth, which
My
seems to
fucking
be
favorite.
Yo,
seems to be the most
same.
critically acclaimed
Same.
episode, and
I-
definitely was the most fun to research. I mean, we all agreed that it was killing us, but it wasn't depressing. It was just
No.
like, yeah, this is bad. That was it.
It's bad, but it's very informative on that whole society. Like I had no idea
You remember the name of the book?
what they were about.
The Zetetic Astrology, Earth Not a Globe, yada yada yada. It was the longest title ever because he was trying to compensate, of course, for the big inside joke of that episode.
Yeah, they all have small dicks.
Can we mention on that episode that Uncle Kyle, who is actually in the building right now, yo, Kyle, say what's up real quick.
So,
He's not mic'd, but he in the mist.
But Uncle Kyle was on that episode during a break that we took. We paused, and he had to go to work, and so he was not on the rest of that episode.
We just never
we
addressed
just
it.
never talked about it. That's why it sounds like he disappeared randomly.
why were you up there for like 5 seconds and then gone? No one even said anything. I was like,
I did have that episode was a lot of fun to do. There are a lot of fun documentaries out there. A few good articles. It was really interesting to find out how far back it went. Again, I said something about this in the episode, but people always think of the British as being like, oh, they're so smart because these accents somehow identify that they're smart. And we were like, yeah, but the British also made fucking Flat Earth. Like, that was I remember that episode was also very short. It was a lot shorter than most episodes. It was quick, but it was also it was fantastic. I had a lot of fun doing the episode. K-Town had a lot of jokes, and what the fuck, dude? That fucking we turned an episode about Flat Earth into small dick.
I get it, though.
I mean,
It all made sense. I laid out the thesis very well.
What was the thesis again?
Everything, because their dicks are so small, they have to perceive as like they're more important. So like the sun's smaller. Like
It doesn't make
the
that
sun-
much sense.
The
to say it
sun's
back now.
when you say it like that.
no. Listen, hear me out. The
right.
sun is the most important thing in the galaxy. It provides life. It provides oxygen. It provides everything to Earth. Without the sun, we would not exist. Their UV rays breathe life into Earth.
True,
And if that's small, and that's still that important, then so's their dick.
You got to get that vitamin
Their dick,
D,
the
baby.
collective dick of the Flat
Yeah,
Earth
because they all got
Society.
small dicks, baby.
So stupid. By the way, wasn't there some hate on that episode on the Instagram or something?
Someone just made a weird comment on an Instagram post I made about the episode. Someone just said, like,
Well, that's
what was
fine.
it? Yeah, seems pretty flat to me.
The Earth
And
not
then
a
it was
globe.
Hashtag we see too far.
Hashtag we see too far. I was like, oof, all right. I
remember
just liked it. I was like, yeah, live your life.
I remember someone else commented on that, and they were like, kind of challenging them, and on some like, what else do you ask about Earth? How is the Earth flat? There's not enough proof. And then you on the Instagram, you were like, hey man, trust me, it's flat, but we're just working out the details, dude. We're still working it all out.
Yeah, we're hammering out those details, but the Earth is definitely flat.
Yes. Fun episode. Alrighty, y'all. So let's move on to our most recently dropped episode, the easily most depressing episode that we've done. Probably will be the most depressing episode we'll do for a while until we do fucking, like, I don't know, Al Qaeda or some shit. I don't know. Like, incels, dude. Incels.
I need a drink for this one.
We were talking about how our process is that we always do our own research, meet up, and yada, yada, yada. The meet up for this was just us drowning out our existential depression. It was horrible. We got so drunk.
Yeah, we literally reintroduced ourselves to Four Locos that night.
Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah.
I think we were just chatting out. We did not want to be incels. We wanted to be full-blown Chads.
That still
dude.
blows my mind that we are Chads.
Or cucks.
No, we're cucks, dude.
Yeah.
Born a cuck into this cruel world.
I don't know, dude. I feel like that one guy commented really thinks we're Chads.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it.
He definitely thinks the Chad life.
So that episode on YouTube, there was I don't even know if you can call it a comment, really. It was
a comment, but it was a
comment.
paragraph. It was a whole novel.
That shit was a story, dude.
It was deleted, though. He deleted it.
Oh, what?
That was...
We got a screenshot.
You still got a
Yeah,
you
have
have
a screenshot of the email, yeah.
We know who you
It's
are,
it's on the
motherfucker.
Instagram. Check it out.
Yeah.
So...
It's not... The full thing's not even... That's not even the whole thing on the Instagram. I couldn't even fit the whole thing on the Instagram.
We blacked his name out. Like, yeah.
Basically, he was trying to call us out, saying that we were being bullies towards the incels, and that people like us are the whole reason that incels exist.
What y'all think about that?
I mean...
Get the fuck out of here.
We're not responsible for those motherfuckers. They're a bunch of, like... I mean, I feel bad for some of them, but it's like, dude, at the end of the day, it's not our problem that y'all are a bunch of racist, hyper-misogynistic assholes.
You can't tell me that I'm being a bully to you because you're a fucking nerd. I'm a fat, overweight dude. I'm about to be 30, and I spend most of my time watching fucking cartoons. Fuck you, dude. I'm a nerd.
Spent a lot of time in a garage, too.
Yeah. What the fuck? I'm not... Yeah, no, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm just as, like, weird as you. I just know how to fucking act.
I'm a tall... I'm not gonna all right looking guy.
Kill him.
But I'm still a fucking weirdo, dude.
Hey, my boy had a lot of bitches glancing at him last night at karaoke.
Am I a Chad? No, I'm too weird to be a fucking Chad. There's no way I'm a Chad. I'm a cuck.
Chads.
We're all cucks.
all fucking
cucks.
Maddie, you're almost a Chad. You're in fucking like. You're
What's
wearing
with that.
I would imagine.
Look at this dude right now.
Yeah, look at this dude. A button-up Ralph Lauren shirt and some khaki shorts and boat shoes.
It's actually Lee. Okay,
shut the fuck up.
Oh no, that was some Chad.
That's some Chad.
You were just Chad-splaining your fucking.
Don't Chad-splain me, you fucking Chad.
Yeah, man.
Whatever.
But this guy was tearing us apart.
What I like.
But he was an actual incel because he was saying things like, no, you guys don't get it. Women only go to tall, handsome, rich men. Like, you just... but he's also giving us shit. He's saying, like, oh, you guys are just assuming things. And it's like, dude, your entire philosophy is based on assumptions of how women work.
He was just like calling us out on like weird technical things, like, well, actually, the true definition of that slang term you used is this, and you guys are laughing at this, so clearly you understand dark humor, like.
Yeah,
but the sad thing about it is like, I didn't notice this until afterwards, but like I zoomed in on like his YouTube profile picture. And the dude looks like he's like 14, 15.
That's the thing, man.
That's even him, you know.
If that even is, but that's the thing. I think a lot of incels are very young, and that's the thing. It's
well,
like, dude,
you ain't even hit puberty.
You're a baby, you know.
You a baby boy.
If you're 16 and you haven't had sex yet, like, it's fine, man. You don't need to fucking go into that.
Most
world.
people ain't fucking in high school until like their senior year.
Yeah, and I think the age is actually like our generation in general is having less sex, losing their virginity later on. And it's like, it's fine, man. He did bring up one interesting point that is true. He did mention that the suicide rate of men is getting higher and higher, and that's true. But that's kind of unreal. I think that
that's unrelated to incels. Completely. That's completely
I think it's more.
unrelated.
I think it's showing more of like the change of times because men aren't. I don't know.
I get it. I mean,
Well, so back in the day,
Like men aren't
men-
as. It's not as the patriarch. The patriarchy isn't as
Kyle.
prominent now. So like, some people just can't accept that. People like are losing their minds that they're not. They can't just like go to work and like call somebody like sweetie and shit anymore. And it, like they're just losing.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going for.
Yeah.
I was like, like right now, there's dudes out there. We're in that weird stage where we're making that transition where we're refinding out what's acceptable.
And
Straight
some-
up, like
and
that.
some people can't
like
handle it.
commercials that have become like that Gillette commercial. That
Yeah,
came out.
people lost their
That pissed
mind.
people off, and I was like,
pissed people
"What the
off,
fuck?"
like being a sexist. Like people don't realize that level it's everywhere. And
I mean, the
everything.
Gillette
It's-
commercial was kind of like OD. I feel like
It
in
was
some
OD,
parts.
but it brought up a point.
But I don't think it was like people needed to be flushing razors down a toilet. Fucking
Yeah.
Well,
like,
I think the reason I like that Gillette commercial is that I mean, you look at their tagline is the best a man can get, and I think that because of that tagline, that's why they maybe felt kind of obligated to do that type of commercial. And yeah, it's a little bit kind of ridiculous, but honestly, like I get it. I'm fine with it. I can't imagine being so pissed off at that commercial
Exactly.
that
Yo, but,
I'd
like,
kill myself.
on a
Yeah,
side
exactly,
point, like
dude.
That wasn't funny.
they target that shit. They target that shit as a market. They're like for men, and like it's ridiculously overpriced. Like
So that's what.
no, for real, no bullshit.
Y'all making these commercials, but y'all expensive.
No, honestly,
Shouts out to Dollar Shave Club.
Man, we ain't sponsored. They can reach out to us before we say shit about.
No,
Dollar
but
Shave.
like I was
yeah.
looking for like some fucking tweezers and some like nail clippers the other day,
Man,
and
what
like
the fuck is you
Already.
doing?
no,
You really is Chad out here.
no. Can y'all let me finish?
Let my man.
My boy,
Let me finish though.
I mean, you got to get your nail clippers. We can't just be growing nails out
Yeah,
all willy nilly.
But like they had the shit for men, and it was like $12 fucking. I'm like, what the fuck for some tweezers and some nail clippers? Bullshit. I went to the fucking women's aisle. I got this like cheap ass like $3 for some fucking nail clippers,
Yo.
like $2 for some
Hold on,
tweezers.
hold on.
See, women have it better than us,
No,
dude.
but
I'm
they have it the
That's
same
how
way.
society's going, man.
They have it the same way because if you go and look at their deodorant,
Yeah.
their deodorant is twice the price and half the strength
Yeah.
as ours.
What? I'm
It-
using
it-
Courtney's deodorant all the time, and my shit runs
That's
out.
what
That
I'm
shit
saying.
holds me down,
Bruh.
bro.
Are we
Yeah, it
becoming
goes
incels
both
right now?
ways. I mean, it does.
No, I'm just saying, like, women go through the same, like, shit. Like,
Yeah, you're
it's,
right.
And at the end of the day, like, that the thing that rubbed me wrong about that commercial is they didn't do that with pure intentions. They did that because they're a fucking money-hungry corporation.
They were virtue signaling.
true.
It's kind
Yeah,
of like
it's a fad
They're like,
now
oh,
to
this
be quote unquote
PC.
woke. It's just like when Oreo does a rainbow fucking like Chick-fil-A did a rainbow fucking
I don't think that, I don't think that was real. I think that was
bro.
like,
I hope
yeah,
it wasn't real. But I'm
I mean,
just
it'd be
saying.
great if Chick-fil-A could stop being homophobic, but you know. So yeah, about the incels.
Yeah, my bad.
So let's go back into
Back
some
on that bullshit.
dark-
So
Every
that was
time.
really bad. Anything else we got to say about that experience in that episode? I mean,
Other than that, it was a
depressing.
bummer, yeah.
Really depressing. Glad we did it though. Glad we had to do it. And it was.
I don't know. I hope we did a good job. You know.
Apparently not. Apparently.
Same.
All right. So let's give the people a preview of the episode that's about to drop next week. So next week we're dropping our episode on Tommy Wiseau's whatever, The Room.
The Room.
We're analyzing the behind the scenes, the creation, and we're analyzing a truth that many of you might not have realized, the truth behind our boy Tommy Wiseau and his true identity.
Oh yeah, we're exposing.
Spoiler alert.
We are going to expose Tommy Wiseau for what
Dude,
he
I
is.
forgot we went down that whole fucking road.
Listen
dude.
to it.
Jesus Christ.
It's a good one.
Great episode, and also the Narrow is actually, which is a local movie theater here. They're showing the Room on September 20th, and our plan is, hopefully the plan is still this, for the boys to go
Yeah.
see The Room
Yeah,
in live
absolutely.
action, bring our spoons, dress up if we can, and actually experience what it's like to see The Room live. And
Maybe
we're gonna
do a quick little spoiler cast, I guess.
well,
or-
we're gonna do like a episode on
Yeah.
the experience of what it was like.
We'll just do a bonus
you
app.
should dress up as
Yeah.
Denny.
You could be.
You look like a
Wait,
Denny.
yes, dude. Can I be Chris R?
You would.
Yo,
Chris
man,
R,
you
bro.
would definitely be Chris R. Kyle would be fucking Mark. Kyle would be fucking
You wouldn't be Mark?
Wait, what? Mark?
You're Mark.
You're not Mark?
Dude. Well, then who's
Who's
Tommy?
Tommy? I don't think anyone wants to do that. No one has to do
If
that.
I had the wig,
Yeah, true.
but I ain't got no hair.
So we want to talk about the future of the Good Times of Killing Us. Some episodes we've had rolling around in our brain sacks.
We still got ASMR in the books.
That's gonna be a dark one. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
dude,
weird
because
one.
I've been really like getting in, like not. I haven't been
Okay.
getting in,
What?
but
Okay.
I've been like,
Alright.
I've been watching some shit about like the kid ASMR shit, and like that's fucking sketch.
That's where the Good Times seem to be killing us the most with that particular
sketchy,
topic.
bro.
All right, so we're talking ASMR. We're thinking about doing one on John McAfee. Is it
John
McAfee?
McAfee.
My boy,
This would be a good one.
McAfee?
McAfee.
McAfee.
The
McAfee.
antivirus.
McAfee, because like a lot of people pronounce it that way. They're like, "Oh, McAfee." Like,
So
I mean, that's what they do.
So the issue is with this guy is that he's the guy responsible for like all of the OG antivirus software, but right now he's on the run from
It's still
the
going strong.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with John McAfee is that he's this antivirus guy, but he's on the run from the FBI while also running for president, while also being this fucking cokehead, fucking playboy guy.
Save that heat, bro. Save
A
that
lot
heat.
of- lot of stuff.
That's a lot of heat.
It's a lot of
it's
heat.
Coming in.
It's a lot.
We were talking about at some point doing the Church of
I
Satan.
feel that heat.
All right, we gotta put it like in the description. Like, listen, Matty was normal, and he's just slowly gotten drunk throughout the cast.
So we're going to do the Church of Satan, specifically kind of the distinction between Levian Satanism and like old school, like actually worship the devil Satanism. What is there anything else that we've kind of thought about?
Juggalos.
Juggalos are hot.
Juggalos
Yeah.
is a big future topic. Riffraff is a big future topic.
Riff Raff. Any other episodes y'all excited to cover in the future?
I really want to do one on like some anime shit, dude.
That's gonna be a big one. You'll be spearheading that one.
Yeah,
But I'm very excited about that. We want to wrap this thing up. We're going about an hour hot on an episode. It isn't even a real episode. Everyone's signed off by now.
Bonus Labor Day episode.
We got. Let's sign out the
yeah,
right
yeah,
way,
yeah.
guys.
Let's with
Sign
that.
out.
Shouts out to the labor movement.
Seriously, yes. This holiday is a holiday for the labor movement. That's what it's all about, to celebrate unions. It's very interesting, you know, and it's also the day before the first day of school.
Yeah, shouts out to the 40-hour work week, y'all.
Yeah,
Yo,
for real,
shout out
for real.
to your boys, labor.
They're the ones that did it, and if they could take, and if the motherfuckers in charge could take it away, they probably would. They're just trying to make you happy enough so that you don't question them too much. And you know what? If they can't get you off the hook, then they'll fucking have Popeyes release a damn fucking chicken sandwich, so you don't think about the Amazon literally burning, the entire Amazon literally burning. Jeffrey Epstein.
Yo, why can't anybody enjoy it?
Alrighty, guys. So thank you so much for the first glorious summer of the Good Times of Killing Us podcast. We have had such a fantastic time learning new things, exploring new avenues of this existence and this society and this culture. I am your host, co-host of many, David, and we are with K-Town.
K-Town.
We are with Mark.
Marquise.
And today we're with some of our best friends, Matty Ice.
I'm gonna eat myself off.
And we're here with Daddy
Kyle.
Papa Uncle Kyle. And has fucking always, comrades, the good times are fucking killing us. We're dead. I don't know, man. Clean that apartment. Is it recording still? Suck today's dick. Do the damn dishes, man. Clean. Be good to each other. Be good to your fellow comrades. Don't wake up dead. I woke up dead this morning. I woke up. Stay swole for all your boys, all your comrades. Live, laugh, and love your way into oblivion, and then you're going to die someday.